Welcome back to the Sports Fix, our Wednesday Sports Fix on Flow FM. It's time to go to a different kind of ball sport right now and tackling when we spoke to him before Christmas time, his nickname was the Thunder from Downunder, according to his Wikipedia page and his website, but he wanted to be known as the Melbourne Machine. But now with a hair change, I think he should be called the Curly Machine. That's just me. And joining us from the Flow Sports Show, we've got Karl Carrington. Karl, what do you think? The Curly Machine, does that suit Neil Robertson?
The Curly Machine does have a ring to it, yeah. I like it, Clayton.
Well, I spent many hours thinking up that, so there you go. But he's been absent for a while. He's pulled out of a couple of tournaments. He's then come back, and this new hairstyle now, has it helped him or what?
Yeah, I definitely think so. He's playing beautifully. He just beat Ning Lu in the Players' Championship. So obviously it's having some effect on him. He mentioned that his new hair was actually inspired by his child that he's recently had, and that's sort of impacted why he's kept his hair sort of a curly perm that he's got going on. Looks good. So yeah, that's why he's kept it around, and if he keeps playing the way he is, then there's no reason why it should go.
You'll like it, do you?
I do like it, yeah.
I don't know. I liked his previous style, and I don't know about this new one. I dare say it'll wear on me because that's all he's got at the moment. But it's interesting, just players wanting to change something. And when I did speak to him, and that when we were talking before Christmas time, and he said, I'm always open to doing things to help improve and change my game. And so I'm just sort of wondering whether his hair was factored into that thinking process.
It sits on top of the head. That's where his brain and that's where his psyche comes from to play the game of snooker. So maybe it has some direct effect. I don't know, Clayton.
Well, he's still number 3 in the world in terms of the world ranking, as we can see on the World Snooker website. So he is doing very well from that aspect. But what else has got going on in the world of snooker, Karl?
Yeah, well, there was a massive upset with Ronnie O'Sullivan losing to John Higgins in the Players' Championship 10-3. So
that's a thrashing, Karl. Let's face it, that's a thrashing.
That is a thrashing, Clayton. And yeah, it was a massive upset. The Scotsman, Ronnie O'Sullivan, said that it's sort of the amount of fixtures and the matches that he's been playing have sort of caught up to him, and he's got another chance to redeem himself with upcoming competitions, obviously. But the hectic fixture schedule and the amount of games that these snooker players do play could be an impact into why he lost that game.
He didn't do very well. I know John Higgins, I think he only dropped 4 frames for the entire tournament. That's almost unheard of.
Yeah, absolutely. And sitting at number 5 in the world, John Higgins will be very stoked with that. And he came out post-match saying that was probably one of the best days that he's had in his snooker career. So it's massive for him. And Ronnie O'Sullivan has to go back to the drawing board, which I guess he'll be good at because it's not the first time that he's faced adversity during his career.
Judd Trump, the world number 1, has been a bit quiet of late. He's lost a few tournaments and Ronnie O'Sullivan's lost to him as well, but he seems to be very quiet at the moment. Is anything going on with him, or is he just resting and waiting for the next tournament to come along?
I think he's just resting at the moment and seeing what's on the horizon for him. As I mentioned, the schedule for these snooker players can be quite hectic, so to see what's around the corner for him is probably what he's doing and eyeing up his next competition.
Yeah, there's lots of competitions going on at the moment. I think there's the Gibraltar Open is on its way very soon, or on its way at the moment.
Yeah, it just started on March 1, Clay.
Which is earlier this week. So, and I think John Higgins and Ronnie O'Sullivan, they pulled out of that one, obviously after the recent victory. And that's so what's coming up? Where do we see our good mate Neil Robertson doing well in this tournament?
I think so. I think after beating Ning Lu, obviously he'll be full of confidence, and he should be very much looking forward to having another promising performance at this Open.
He's a very talented man, is our good mate Neil Robertson, the Curly Machine. The Curly Machine.
Sounds good.
I like that. And that's in the world of sports. What else has caught your eye over the last week or so?
I think just the different AFL interpretations and the implications from Mr. Steve Hocking was quite eye-catching, with the man on the mark rule being changed, and it's caused some uproar among many AFL fan bases across the competition. So it'll be very interesting to see how that's implemented when the real stuff kicks off.
And your thoughts on that rule change?
I'm 50-50 at the moment. I can see the potential there for it to work. It's definitely going to help with those kick-ins and attempts on goal from sort of the side of the field where the players usually just run into play anyway and have a shot on goal. It's going to prevent that, but being 50-metre penalties being awarded left, right and centre around the ground, really impacting the scoreboard for the defending team can be quite detrimental. So it'll be interesting to see how the umpires firstly go about utilising it in their arsenal, but also how each team approaches it and how they, I guess, tactically face up when they have to deal with that new rule change.
It's going to be some interesting rules and changes that are going to be happening with the AFL this year. I don't think it's going to be the only one we'll see and the only one we'll be talking about. All right, thanks, Karl. Thanks for that and giving us an update on the curly machine. I think that's got to be the nickname. We'll have to get in touch with him, see if we can have a chat to him about that. That'll be worth doing. All right, thank you, Karl, for joining us on the Sports Fix.
Thank you very much, Clayton. Pleasure.